This is Julie Mullins with Stereophile. I'm here with Ivana Manley, and we are at AXPONA 2025 in the ear gear section. And Ivana is very excited to tell us about this late stage prototype that's been in development for more than 3 years in R&D. And she said she's finally excited to get it out of the lab into the real world for the first time. So a lot of advanced features and functions, a lot of classic tube power and capabilities, and it's a preamp line stage and phono preamp, and it's the precision line. Is that correct?
Yeah, the name of the product is a precision line and phono stage. Mm-hmm. It's got 6 inputs. Any of the inputs can be a line or a phono, mm-hmm, depending on how much gain you select for it. So as you see, this one's already selected for 10 dBs of gain, and it's a white LED. It's going to be a line input. If we go over here to, say, input 2, you've got a red selection here. That's the RIAA, the high gain settings. We tap to set the gain, and then we can set anywhere from 40 to 75 dBs of gain by also using the line stage too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then
to set what's really clever with this is you can set the loading for your cartridge anywhere from 30 ohms to 960 ohms in 30 ohm steps. And you can also, we'll get to the remote in a second, but mm-hmm, to set the loading to the resistors, you click once, that's 47K. Then we have a capacitance setting here for your cartridges, anywhere from 30 picofarads to wherever it is, 480 picofarads. Let's go back here to the gain again. To the loading, resistive loading. So there's 30 ohms coming up, and then we're getting 2 LEDs on the second rotation, reading like 630 ohms there, going all the way up to 960 with 3 LEDs, and then finally your 47K. So it's very flexible. Mm-hmm. Three taps on this encoder gives us a brightness control of all the LEDs, so you can do that. Mm. What's super clever with this is an all-tube preamplifier, 10 tubes inside, driven by Manley power, that fancy switch mode power supply design. But what's way cool is it's got a web server and a ESP32 remote system that you can run off an iPad or your iPhone or your laptop computer, just anywhere, anything with a web browser. It's a web browser, so you can change the inputs, you can change the capacitive loading, the resistive loading, the balance left and right. You can everything on the faceplate you can control with the remote control as well.
Yeah, and you can save many presets as well as to your taste or preferences.
It's going to have like an A/B comparative setting, so you could can sit in your listening chair and say, well, what is the difference of that loading from 400 ohms to 100 ohms? So you could preset that up and just A/B it. So
right, and toggle, and that's always fun.
This is like modern technology combined with the antique vacuum tube technology. We are embracing both worlds.
Yeah, I love that combination. And there's a bypass setting I see as well.
There's a home theater bypass. Now, that's kind of a dangerous thing. You don't want to invoke that easily.
And we talked about some of the presets that you have too that you're working on, because so many customers, you hear in the field and you get calls from customers wondering what cartridge loading, what the setting is, the output, and what the proper settings might be to start with, or recommendations, and especially for moving cartridge.
That's the most common
cartridges.
Question I receive from customers when they buy our phono stages is, I have an XYZ cartridge, how do I set the loading? It's like, well, go look up the specifications for your cartridge and then turn the knobs or set the dip switches and do the loading, Mm-hmm. But it would be so much easier if they had a drop-down selection menu in the remote control where we could populate a big list of phono cartridges with the manufacturer's recommended settings, and then they could just drop down, like, oh, there's my Hana SL, you know, and it just would automatically just go set it for them.
Yeah.
So that is planned.
Good, good. And that can be done, you know, the firmware updates to be available over the air.
That's correct.
Very
the
convenient.
system updates itself over the air on the network.
Yeah. So having that capability to start with, and then of course listeners can tweak as necessary or as they wish, and do that right on the fly from the remote, or from the very
Facebook.
classic the Facebook, or
Yeah.
the front panel, and these are single they're ladder step. This is relays.
Yes,
all analog.
the relays. There's two separate banks, left and right, and they're all interleaving relays, switching resistors. You have perfect channel-to-channel matching as ever, and also if you tap twice, you can go into a balance reset mode.
Okay.
So if you have some issue with your system, you can adjust that.
Okay. Fantastic.
Let's get that back so nobody gets thrown. Okay.
Yeah. And finally, what made you want to design this product after all this time and having separates for the precision line stage and phono preamp? What made you decide to go this route?
Look, Manley Labs, what we do is tube gear, right? And what we can do to modernize it to make it more convenient for people is to embrace, you know, easily adaptable technology like the ESP32 chip. So to be able to have the remote controllability of really high-end, awesome vacuum tube analog equipment, that's the best, coolest thing. Like I could have this in my house and VPN into my house and control my preamp from Chicago.
That's cool,
you know
too.
what I mean?
That's fine. Yeah.
Because I'm a nerd. I know all this stuff is possible, and that's why I've been driving my engineers like, no, let's do this, not just a radio frequency remote control. Let's do a remote control that you can operate from across the world if you want to. It allows for the convenience that you can work this whole unit with your phone from your listening chair
on the fly,
and like listen to different things or adjust whatever. It's just so much more convenient, and because we can do it,
because you can,
we're going to do it.
Okay. Yeah. Well, thanks so much.
Yeah, thanks.